Welcome to another episode, everyone. This is part 2 of Racial Murders Ignite a Deadly War. The Baby Insane Crips versus the Longos and the Barrio Pobres in Long Beach. When we left off in part 1, these individuals were going back and forth, unaliving one another. The Baby Insane Crips were, of course, holding their own. But now an individual is trying to bring the Crips together in Long Beach because they are beefing with one another too, even though they have all of these other beefs going on. Will they come together?
It's a lot of Crip on Crip beef in the city. But Cinco out the 50s from the Brick Boys had made a statement the other day speaking on how the other Crip hoods in Long Beach, aside from Rolling 20s and Insane, really shouldn't be beefing because there's no murder beef between these hoods. Hoods like Black Bandit and Brick, 2 Ends and Brick, 2 Ends and 8-0, basically calling for more unity with the Crippin' in Long Beach, which will honestly clear up their politics over here in the city. Because Long Beach is one of them cities that does have some muddy and confusing politics. Again, we got a city full of Crips. They pretty much all beefing. We got Black Bandit pushing 4X. We got racial tension. It's a lot going on in Long Beach. And the thing is, what we see from the Longos is 2 different things. Number 1, Eastside Longo, like I said, had some internal beef and broke apart, resulting in Westside Longo forming. Eastside and Westside was beefing at one point, but they put their beef down to go against the Rolling 20s and the Insanes. And it said that the Longos are also responsible for the Asian and other type hoods forming because they was applying pressure through unity. And we also have seen the Longos not only being racist with the black hoods in Long Beach, but we also see them whacking out the whole Samoan community as well. So they seem to want to beef it and be racist with everybody that's not in their circle. Now the Longos, I see something as like what the Weemas should be doing. Different sides of their hoods and they all beefing, but they need to clean it up. But the thing is with the Weemas, they don't have a hood over there in Wilmington or even in Carson that's as big as Insane that they beefing with for real. So it's really no incentive for Weemas to be clicking up to go against anybody. This is why it looks the way it does over there in Wilmington. It made sense for the Longos to do it. And Cinco out the 50s is pretty much calling for the Crips to do it because it's no murder beef.
Corner blocks never killed nobody from Bricks, bro. The Brick Boys ain't never killed nobody from Black Bandit. The Black Bandits ain't never killed nobody from Bricks. The Black Bandits ain't never killed nobody from 4 corner blocks. The Insanes ain't never killed nobody from Bricks. The Bricks ain't never killed nobody from Insane. The 20s and Insane, that's different. I don't know. All the hoods I just said, bro, ain't nobody ever died, bro. Long Beach, though, we all run one. Bricks, Insanes, 20s, Black Bandits, we all won. Oh, Long Beach. Oh, we're Long Beach. Why is it not broken down like that?
Now, it's an argument for really who's the most hated in Long Beach. Some people say the Longos. Of course, most people say the Longos. After this situation, earlier this year, when we seen Barrio Pobre do their hood vlog, they said they was the most hated. And of course, other people will say the Babies is the most hated. But for the most part, it's not too many allies with the Southsiders. We did see the Longos with the Lomas. And we was in the Lomas hood the other day. Shout out to them young niggas that we rolled up on in the Lomas, man. They kept it solid when we was in their section, and their young members was outside moving militant. But I say that to say, the Lomas chilling with Longo, and we know the Longos have a reputation for being racist. Not everybody in their set is gonna necessarily push that. I've talked to dudes from Eastside Longo all the way back when we did the Long Beach Most Dangerous. Not gonna put people's name out there, but dudes did reach out and show love and support. And they do have...
Whatever. There's enough of them that are racist not to take a chance. They're crossing out the Samoans, putting Samoan K. They push NK. They have been doing that for some time. Bottom line.
Have black members in both Barrio Pobre and in the Longos. But of course, we do have people that push the race line. And this is what we seen from Baby Evil out of Longo East when he tried to take out 4 people in one night, shooting 2 blacks and 2 Barrio Pobres within an hour of each other. Now, he rode up on 2 black dudes, Larry Hood and Keyshawn Robinson on 14th. Like we told y'all, 14th, a hot spot. Everybody's on 14th. He pulled up on them dudes and got cracking. These was 2 black dudes on 14th. Now, when he went down, they set him in a room with the Perkins, and he told the Perkins he didn't know where these black dudes was from. He just saw black and started getting off. So it's dudes like that that's really pushing the racial issue and the racial agenda on the east side. And you know, traditional gangbanging really just...
Exactly. And so that should be enough right there for all of those gangs, as old boy had just said, to come together. He just said that he shot them just because they were black. They didn't have to gang bang. They probably didn't gang bang. None of that. Just walking down the street, getting killed, shot up because you're black. They gonna shoot you. The Asians gonna shoot you and kill you. The Indians, the white, every damn body. Just because you're black. You better fucking come together and unite now.
Turns into this when you beefing with another race. It's inevitable, almost. When you really having some gunplay between black and brown. It just goes there. But an hour after he shot these black dudes, in which they both lived, he's on Daisy in 14th. Like I said, Daisy, main street for Barrio Pobre. He finds Brian Rodriguez and Edwin Alonzo. Ends up hitting them 2 dudes up in his uncle's car. Now, of course, his uncle ended up going down for it, ratted on his son, who was also from Eastside Longo, and Baby Evil from Eastside Longo. And one of the black dudes that got shot on 14th ended up picking out Baby Evil in the photo lineup, man. And Baby Evil upstate doing 80 years to life, trying to get down on 4 people in one night, pushing the racial tension over here on the east side.
Oh, man. On the east side.
Now, we know the Longos are involved in way more than just beefing with the Insanes and the Barrio Pobres. We see them time and time and again in the federal indictments. Their biggest one, where about 16 dudes in leadership went down, was Operation Blue Ice, which was a 3-year investigation on the Longos, where a lot of confidential informants from East Side, West Side, and North Side Longo was getting down. It was a dude named Cholito, who said to be an inducted member of the Mexican Mafia now, who was actually dealing with a confidential informant from his hood. Now, you know, with the name Blue Ice, you know what they was serving, but they wasn't aware that they homies had flipped. You know, one of them confidential sources had charges for kidnapping, robbery, body armor, all kind of shit. You know, people end up cooperating to lessen the blow of some of the shit that they got caught with, and that's what wrapped the Longos up into this federal indictment. Now, Cholito is serving the L for a murder in an unrelated state case, but he was using his niece as the communicator with the confidential informant. But we also see members like Lonely, Sugar Bear, Big Head, Serio, Wacky, and Smokey, top members over here in the Longos, go down in the same way. Wiretaps, snitches. But 2 years ago, we seen the Longos try to take out one of their confidential informants. On Halloween 2023, the Northside Longos had put a hit out on a female that was snitching. They put $5K on her head, and a dude named Oscar Ramirez from Northside Longo was applying the pressure. It said that he had already shot the bitch and was trying to get her out the way from taking a stand on some Northside Longo homies.
I shot.
Now, she was involved in a previous murder and ended up flipping on her homies. She was already outside putting in work. But on Halloween in Montebello 2023, everything went up. Then people was watching Ramirez and the Northside Longos. They caught him at a gas station, tried to box his whip in while he was trying to carry the hit out on the female rat. He ended up getting off, and the police ended up lighting his ass up. Now, crazy enough, he ended up surviving them shots from the police. But as you can see, the Longos got a lot going on in their hood. Not just a situation between Barrio Pobre.
Yeah, they had his ass set up. They was already waiting on that shit. They around there, excuse me, regular cars. And then they pulled up with the identifiable cars. And as soon as he pulled up, they jump out. But he was trying to get up out of there. Once you recognize, I'm surprised. He is lucky that he survived that. This war out here in Long Beach has been going on for a very long time between the Insanes and the Longos, but not just them. The Longos, as we really see in part one, but this is not to demonize them. It is what it is. This is just what's going on. But they were getting into it with all of the Crips out there in Long Beach. Really, they're just saying, again, if you're black, it's good enough. We're tripping. We've seen this in different areas with some of these stories that we've covered here, where the war is not necessarily a gang war, but instead a racial war. This is not always the case, but sometimes it is. Apparently, this is certainly some of what's going on out here.
And other Crips in the city. And we know the same goes for Barrio Pobre. Now, again, Barrio Pobre is not a big hood, but these dudes did do some high profile shit, not only finding themselves in indictments, but also with a member named Gumby and Lil Papas out of that Mafiosos Chicos clique getting down on the Long Beach police. Long Beach gang detective officer Daryl Black. Now it said that these dudes was gearing up over here in the 19th Street hood on the east side. It seems like they was about to get down on some black people when the gang unit pulled up on them right before they was finna lay somebody down who had previously shot Gumby. Now the police were in an unmarked unit, so I don't know if Gumby didn't realize it or, the heat of the moment, but everything cracked off. He put up 28 shots out of AK, ended up hitting the officer twice in the head, and some other stray bullets caught a pregnant female, hitting her 5 times in her house. And Barrio Pobre, they name made the news like crazy after this. And Gumby is still sitting on death row, waiting to be taken out this shit because of that murder in 2 attempts. Now, Lil Papas ended up getting off on that. I don't know how he got off, but they ended up coming back with a federal indictment on that dude over some immigration shit. So, the people came down hard on Barrio Pobre over that situation. It went up and it goes up when you killing cops out here, which is something Barrio Pobre is known for after this.
We in the section, bro. We right here on 16th, fool, the finest, fool, all the way to 10th Street, fool. Most hated in Long Beach.
Now, again, like we said, the racial shit is still there with Barrio Pobre as well. So before they killed that cop, they was on their way to kill another black dude based on a previous shooting. But in 2015, Rowdy from Barrio Pobre ended up getting cracking on a black dude while he was hanging out in the alley with his homegirls. So he was with 2 females, both of course ended up snitching. Dominique Alvarez and AP. Dominique dude was from Barrio Pobre as well. But while they kicking it, a dude named Douglas Wilson pops out of his apartment building and hits the alley. Now this was over here off of Cedar and 8th in Barrio Pobre hood. And these 2 dudes had ran into each other before. Now, Douglas Wilson, I can't say if he was gangbanging, if he was from 20s or from Insane. But according to Rowdy, he popped into the alley somewhat aggressive, thinking he was hard. Again, according to these dudes from Barrio Pobre. But Rowdy called him out, asking him why he acting hard. And Wilson ends up peeling off his shirt, trying to just get down with Rowdy. At this point, Rowdy cracks a smile and pulls that thing out. He ends up hitting Wilson twice. Once in the stomach, once in the chest, and ends up standing over him and putting 2 more into him, killing him over here off 8th and Cedar on the east side of Long Beach. Now, the females were saying that Wilson was screaming for help and everything was bad. Now, one of the females was already dead by the time Rowdy had went to trial, but they still played her statement in court based off her.
Yeah, and that's what wow. When are people going to learn? If you doing no disrespect to the females, but for the most part, even though you have some females that are harder than some of these dudes, particularly these days, they stay down more than some of these dudes. But for the most part, they're going to snitch. And sometimes these dudes are just playing tough, just around the female, just want to do something to be noticeable with her, and you risk your life. And you end up getting life, doing something foolish in broad daylight around a woman or even around anyone these days. You just can't do it. But as we can see, these individuals, boy, they're going back and forth. They won't stop. They haven't come to any sort of peace, any sort of resolution at all.
confession and what she said in the preliminary hearings. But 5 weeks later, they ended up catching up with Rowdy. He goes down and they place this dumb nigga in a cell with 2 Perkins, and he gets to talking like everybody else does. He talks about he already had a problem with that black dude, and he was bragging about how he got down on the black dude. And he said when he hit him, he went flying. Again, telling all this to the snitches in the tank. Now he talked to...
Yeah, and like he said, like everyone does, because a lot of people, I've seen this. I've did over 30 years of incarceration. I was in the LA County Jail for many years, actually. And they had an individual that they were putting inside of the cell with wearing a wire. And they had individuals or an individual that was going around in the county jail, setting people up, getting information from them, going in a cell with them, befriending them, acting like he's from a certain gang, acting like he's an OG, making these particularly young individuals comfortable, and then starts asking them about their case. These individuals are stressed. They want to talk about it. They want to talk about their case. They want to, what do you think, man? You think I'm going to be okay? You think I'm going to beat the case? You think I'm going to go home? Especially, again, young dudes who don't know a lot better, and they have a lot of angst because of the case that they're in there on, and they just want to get it off their chest. They just want to talk about it. And these individuals seek them out and get information from them, and they have it on a wiretap. They did this to my young homie. He had it on a wiretap. He went down and saw his lawyer and came back. He was sick, wouldn't get out of the bed. What's up, bro? What's going on? My lawyer said they got audio. When I was down there on another floor in another module, and I was talking to my cellie about the case, he was recording it the whole time and turned it in to the DA. So they'll get you even there in jail, man. You shut up. Don't say nothing. Just shut up. In jail or not, or you're going to be in trouble.
Into a life sentence in this cell for killing this black dude over here off 8th and Cedar. And again, this the type of shit that fuels the racial tension on the east side of Long Beach. And you know, it didn't used to be this much beef with these hoods in Long Beach. At one point, Insane and the Longos got along with each other. And the 18th Streets are cool with the Asian boys and the SCA. But the thing I see a lot of these hoods got a lot of young members. And what we see time and time and again, these young members are the ones that get cracking at school, whether it's Polly, Cabrillo, or Jordan. All these hoods are combined. In each part of the city, one hood of Longos is there. So this is what is fueling the fire with these young dudes, and it's bleeding over into the streets. But the West Side 80s and the West Side Longos is also known to have a lot of shit going on, as we showed that shootout on Spring Street between the West Side Longos and the 80s. We know Spring Street is that main block right outside them apartments for the 80s. But at one time, they also didn't have problems with the Longos when they formed. And on top of that, the Longos do have Compton Video beef. I seen them beefing with the T-Flats. If I'm not mistaken, they beefing with all the Compton Videos. So like I said, it's a lot that's going on over here in Long Beach, East, West, and North Side. A lot of racism, a lot of CK business as well. But what we seen at the beginning of the year, 23 days, 23 nights, it seemed like after that, shit kind of slowed down a little bit. It was extremely active. But again, the city is on a decline. Long Beach averaging about 35 murders a year. It's probably gonna stay around that same point. But overall, man, y'all make sure y'all stay safe in these streets. The summer's coming to an end. It's still getting cracking.
Big West siding with.
Oh, shit. The summer's not coming to an end right now. It's really, just beginning and just getting cracking. And there's a lot going on in Los Angeles, California right now. Long Beach, Compton, and everywhere else, as we know. So indeed, be careful out there. And there you have it. Shout out to Rap News and Street Politics. Good job, per normal. These individuals have been getting into it. The Longos, as we can see, they're beefing with many different gangs. And, they are a huge gang. So East Side Longos, West Side Longos, they are a huge gang. They don't really, it is what it is with them. They're going up. And these other gangs out here in Long Beach, everywhere, LA, Compton, we need to stop it, put the weapons down, and come together for one. We need to unite like every other ethnicity is doing, every other race is doing. But we don't need to be beefing with one another anyway, the black gangs and the Mexican gangs. We're all hated. As soon as we figure that out, the better off we'll all be. Let me know what you think in the comments. Back and forth they go. It's been going on for some time in Long Beach. And as he said, the wars and the politics out there are a bit convoluted. You have to understand who's beefing with who and why. You have a lot of little different sets out there that are beefing with one another, but as we can see, they're trying to come together. We'll see what happens. Stay safe and stay free, people.